Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and this is a 2006 Toyota Land Cruiser 100 series. This one here with the 4.7 liter gasoline V8 engine. This truck has 149,181 kilometers and was bought from a customer in Canada for export over there. Overall condition is pretty good, and that's a testament to how these Land Cruisers are. They typically take a little bit more wear and tear before they wear out compared to your typical 25/20-year-old vehicle like this. 18 years, this one. So this one can import to Canada under their 15-year rule. This is a late model, so the final version of the 100 series. And so you can see subtle differences in it. It has a few OEM aftermarket parts. Actually, it does have one piece that's quite interesting, and we have a little bit of a story to this, but for now, it came with the original roof racks on it, but not the original roof rails like the Land Cruiser usually has. I'll show you actually, and you'll get a little sneak peek at the garbage heap in the back of our lot when I show you this. We got another Land Cruiser up here. And pardon me for detouring. So this here is what the rails usually look like on the roof, right? So the buyer of that Land Cruiser had this on top. And that's an OEM Toyota roof rack. It's an actual official Toyota unit. Have a look. Has Toyota badges, Toyota four-wheel drive badges right there. And then the ski racks here, although there's no key, the ski racks have the Toyota logo over here. So it is an official Toyota unit. Now, we probably didn't know that at the time. The customer requested to take it off because, of course, it's going to add to the cost of shipping because it makes the vehicle taller. And we might want to put it back on. An OEM Toyota roof rack is a very cool unit, and I think it would be worth paying the extra price to get it shipped along with it. Now, the rest of the story. The guy that works for us that went to go remove the roof rack didn't realize how windy it was that day, and the roof rack acted like a sail when it was being taken off, and it got dropped onto the roof. And we're very, very sorry about that. And of course, we're going to work with the customer to pay for that, as we always do when we damage the vehicles. But I'll show you the damage now so you can get a good look. And by the way, this one has the extended dealer optional bumper step, which is pretty cool. And dealer optional rear ladder. Look at that Toyota logo on it. All these dealer optional pieces. Impossible to get unless you find them on a vehicle like this one. So cool little win there. Now, if you look up here, there's a scratch here. It's about 10 centimeters in size. And there's a series of 2 dents right here. Okay. And this piece here was damaged. Now, there's no damage to the top here. And if you open the door, there's no damage to the top of the door. It's exclusively on the plastic there. So those 3 areas were damaged. And of course, we'll work with you. And I'm sorry, we try very hard not to damage vehicles. It happens from time to time. And I guess the important part is that we come clean and make sure that you get compensated for that. So we'll be in talk about that. For the rest of the vehicle now. Let's go over the auction sheet. Pardon me, we're doing this in a little bit of a weird order. So let me pull this down. This vehicle, 2006 Land Cruiser 100 series. It's the VX Limited. You can get them in gasoline or diesel. This is an auction grade 4, interior B, which seems about right. Very nice, clean interior, clean exterior. Minor scratches here or there, but it is coming on 20 years old pretty soon. So not bad at all. 149,181 kilometers, automatic transmission. First time at auction, purchase from user, 1 owner, warranty papers, and owner's manual. This is an 8-seater version. The diesels came 5-seater, and the gasolines came 8-seater. The back seats you'll see later in the video, they're a little bit cramped, but definitely usable by adults if they need to be, but more of a kid's seat, I would think. Report says interior dirty, wear, underside, surface rust, various scratches and dents, and then the body has repainted fender, door, dent over here, and some minor to medium scratches on this side. Rear bumper AU2 is a medium-sized dent and scratched area. And the damage that we put on the roof would be considered an AU2 and probably an A3. Let me just close that properly. And I'll take you for a spin around the vehicle. I think the Land Cruiser 100. Oh, hey, kitty. That cat was born in our lot. It's a stray. It was born inside our NB Roadster that we're using as a scrap car for our other race car.
Want to see us having fun in Japan? Go check out our new channel. Link in the description.
And actually, this is maybe the last video that it's going to be in our lot. It was supposed to have been picked up 2 days ago, but the guy that was going to pick it up to scrap it got sick. So as I was saying, the gray on this, the gunmetal gray, great color for the Land Cruiser. This one, original condition, has never been lifted, has never been modified, still has the plate on it. That was supposed to come off. Pull around here. And yeah, we really can't see much of the vehicle now that we are in between. It's the between two ferns, but in this case, between two JDM trees, the official JDM tree and the new JDM tree. These trees getting bigger. We do have some great news for you in terms of not shooting the reports here any longer, but that's to come in a later update video, and so stay tuned for that if you're interested. Okay, so pretty much perfect condition in here. Looks like the single battery here is a relatively new one. The engine oil checks out, the coolant checks out. The timing belt was changed at 98,000 kilometers in 2017. And everything just looks good. Land Cruisers, super duper reliable. Although they usually have pretty big fluid capacities like oil, coolant, that sort of thing. So maintaining them can be a little bit more expensive. This is like 3 times the size of a car-sized power steering canister. And this is like 5 or 6 times bigger than a car-sized brake master cylinder reservoir. Okay, let's close this off. And now for the body, the headlights. Later model headlights and later model grille give it a more updated look compared to the early model ones. They are unfortunately all faded. It looks like you could polish these up. You can usually tell the ones that are too far to polish up because they're going to have like either these micro cracks or like some deterioration inside below the lens. And it doesn't look like that's the case here. We have at least a medium-sized scuff here on the front bumper around here. You can definitely tell that the car has been repainted, but it's really not too bad. Glad to see that. You come down here and the car hasn't been painted recently because there are a number of small scratch areas in various places. And none of them too bad. But if it were a freshly painted vehicle, that could be a little bit of a concern because some people would paint it poorly right before you send it to auction and they don't really care about doing a quality paint job. And then if the vehicle is completely clean, you can suspect that that's the case. If there are little areas of damage like this, it was at least used by somebody, perhaps the person that did paint it. I've never seen this step before. That's very cool. I'm always on the lookout for OEM cool parts like that. So it's cool to see. These rear ladders, pretty rare, and probably put that roof rack back on it. I like coming from the point of view of a Land Cruiser enthusiast like myself, I would absolutely love that roof rack. It needs restoration, but I think it's worth taking. There's the U2 dent. It seems about right. And yeah, looking pretty clean. Nice and glossy. They said that only the front left fender and the front door on the left side had been repainted, but it looks like several of the panels have been repainted actually. Hood's looking fine, no fade. And this is going to have like a really nice street presence. Not a lot of these Land Cruisers look as good as this at this point. Okay, going to the interior now. Of course, it is a Land Cruiser, so you have this tailgate thing. All right, now with the seats in position, you don't get a ton of space in the back, but you do get the tailgate that you can sit on if you want. If it is raining a little bit, you can hide underneath the hatch. And then we got a bit of dirtiness here. It looks like you can probably clean that out pretty easily. It doesn't look like it's stained. Carpet is otherwise fairly clean, and then these seats double fold, so the back folds forward and the whole seat folds up to the side. And it gives you a pretty decent amount of space. If you need more space, you might have to remove this third row of seats completely, and then it unbolts with, I think, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 bolts on each side. It's really not too hard. Close it up, and into the back seats. Just noticing a little bit of damage here I didn't notice before. That part's cracked. Up here too. Huh. Okay, so OEM tinted windows and Toyota auto alarm. Kind of a rare option here in Japan. Car alarms are a super rarity. Very, very clean and almost unused feeling of these door cards and the seats. Good chance this was owned by an OG-san, which is Japanese for older man. Probably had grandkids, but maybe didn't see the grandkids as often as he'd like to. Or maybe he didn't like his grandkids and said, there's no way they're getting into my Land Cruiser. Maybe he got the Land Cruiser because he knows that they're a hard-wearing vehicle and perfect for kids, but maybe he's also kind of a bit mean to his family. Who knows? All the cars have a story, but we can only speculate, right? So the pillow there is decent. It's soft. It can be used as a pillow, armrest, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, seats are nice. They don't feel dusty either. They feel like they've actually been cleaned semi-recently, like within the last 4 years or so. Onto the front now. Door card also giving me a good impression. You can usually tell when you look at a door card like this if it's got a lot of wear near the handle or on the little buttons here. It gives you a bit of an idea of how the car was maintained. Like somebody who's gentle with their car like that, even though it's higher, I wouldn't say higher mileage, mid-mileage, but 150,000 kilometers. Looking much better than you would expect one to. And it doesn't have any smell of cigarettes, which is another kind of a Land Cruiser thing. People who drive Land Cruisers in Japan are often the same demographic. First video I've shot in a while, so bear with me. A similar demographic as people who smoke cigarettes. So you will often find some that smell like cigarettes or have cigarette burn holes in them, and this one is neither. Okay, a little bit of sagginess in the seat here, the fabric, but it's not too bad. Bit of wear on the stitch here for the steering wheel, but again, not too bad. The later model has a much nicer looking dashboard in my opinion, and really makes the vehicle stand out. And it's all the same orientation. You get the same front face, the same center stack, and the same super cavernous center console, sometimes with a drink cooler in it. Now, these are a little bit weird. A place for auxiliary drinks. There's 2 here that you can put your regular drinks, but if you need more drinks, you can put them in here, but then you have to drive around with the lid open, which is also weird, and grabbing here for the driver is a bit awkward. So, strange design. Automatic transmission with this, that you can get them in manuals, like that white one in the back of the lot was a manual, with Brembo brakes on it. Weird, right? But almost all of them were automatics. If you can find a manual, grab it if you can. Pay whatever the seller wants for it. Mystery thing. 4-wheel drive mode. Headlight levelizer, folding mirrors, adjustable mirrors, of course. This one has the optional bumper sonar. The beep, 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 beep when you're getting close to stuff. This one is a display of some sort. I don't really know what it is, but it's aftermarket. And then the original OEM Toyota GPS sensor. And this one here is an original OEM watch TV through the monitor system, which is pretty cool in 2000, what year is this? 2006? Yeah, pretty advanced, I'd say. Not many new cars came with that at that time. So the AC works fine. The stereo, I believe, should work fine. Actually, wasn't tested, but in a vehicle that's this clean, perhaps. If I were to guess, I would say probably yes. You get a free 100 yen. Cool. It's like a refund. You have to put your fingers in an ashtray, which is a weird feeling, but I don't think it's been smoked in. Like no ash remnants in here whatsoever. So feel free to jam those fingers in. cigarette lighter, never been used. High gear ratio and low gear ratio, even though 99.9% of Land Cruiser owners, at least in North America / Japan, are not going to be using the low gear ratio. It's still there in case you need it. That gives you better power at slower speeds for pulling or off-roading or something like that. Carpets, super clean. Just a really nice place to be in here. Oh, and this, I'm sure this is for safaris in Africa. 1, 2, 3, 4 places to put your sunglasses. And even if you're not going to Africa on a safari, you can pretend you are. So, good condition Land Cruiser, all the way around. Excellent vehicle. I love it. So, in conclusion, very sorry about the damages to it. Very, very sorry. This is the first one we've done this year, but last year it was probably only 1 or 2 vehicles of the nearly 1,000 that we exported that we actually did do some damage on. So it hurts, but it is a reality of this kind of work, especially on a windy day. In retrospect, not the best day to be taking a roof rack off. Anyway, that's all for this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.